Good morning and welcome to Thinking It Through with Tia. I felt a very strong urge to come and make a video about my thoughts on self-love. I've had a lot of conversations lately that have surrounded the need for self-love or the importance of self-love, and so I decided today that I would make a new video and it would be around self-love. So let's get into it. So, what is self love? So, self love is the ability to love yourself regardless of the circumstances that you're in. My opinion, of course, right? It's learning how to forgive, it's learning how to say no, it's learning how to let go of things that hold you bound in place. As I went along my journey to understanding self-love, it required a lot of work and I experienced a lot of hurt. One of the things that you have to do in order to fully embrace self-love is go back within yourself, dig deep into your heart, into your past traumas and to your past hurts, to be able to fully awaken your heart again so that you now learn how to fully love yourself as equally as you love others. There are a lot of people that say, but I am a lover. I do love. I love everyone. I share love. I spread love. But when you take a moment and you take a step back, when you look at the love that you give to others and you compare that to the love that you give to you, does it match? Are you giving love to others that cause you hurt? Are you doing things out of obligation because it's quote unquote my job? Or are you comfortable enough, in love with yourself enough to say, I don't feel that that serves my highest good, therefore I'm not going to do it. You don't need to explain it. You don't need to have everyone understand. You have to start to choose to do things that are best for you. So when we think about self-love, I think about touching on silence and solitude. I think about spending a little bit of time to myself because I realize that there's multiple versions of myself, right? There is myself that is in the present and there is my higher self. And my higher self is all knowing. So my higher self knows the reality of my life, knows that I can call down the desires of my life. But I wouldn't know that unless I introduce myself to my higher self to understand all the things that are possible in this life. We live in a limitless life. It's endless possibilities. There's infinite possibilities of the way that life could go, but we sometimes close ourselves into just one possible outcome. So getting to know your higher self sometimes opens you up to understanding that there are multiple possible outcomes of a situation. Most of the ones that you are thinking of are that are going to destroy your life or make you fall to pieces are probably less likely to occur than some of the others. Of course, because the more that you love yourself, the more that you spend time with yourself. And spending time with yourself, I mean, perhaps meditation. Some people struggle to meditate, so think of it as just quiet time with deep breathing. So like, breathe deeply in and out, but let your mind kind of drift away. When thoughts come into your mind, watch them like a movie. Instead of becoming a part of the movie, be an observer of the movie. So when the thoughts come into your mind, let them flow by, observe them. Sometimes the thoughts will teach you something you were looking for or give you something you were looking for that you needed to know. Take that and move on. Other times, especially when you're close to a breakthrough in your life, The thoughts that are going to come in are going to be, you can't, impossible, it's not going to work, this is not fair, that is not fair, no one cares about you. It's going to be all kinds of random little thoughts like that. But remember, you're watching a movie, and you could always change the channel. You could always change to the movie. So think of it that way. When that thought or those thoughts flow into your mind that try to take you on a path that is not loving yourself, because it's not loving yourself to bash yourself. So if your thoughts are coming into your mind and you're feeling like bashed or bullied even by yourself or even by your thoughts, reject the thought. I know it sounds unrealistic, but you control your mind. Your mind doesn't control you. So reject the thought. When the thought comes in and it tries to take you on the wrong path, reject the thought. It will go away immediately and new thoughts will form. Choose to think about the things that you want to come into your mind, not necessarily guiding your ultimate thought of, I want my life to go exactly this way, so I'm going to think that it's only going to go this way, because that's now putting limits on your life and limits on yourself. But think about the idea of what you want. Think about your gratefulness. Think about being grateful, being thankful. Think about grace. Think about peace. Think about compassion. You know, if you can't stop your mind from running too much, maybe do a quick haul of what things can come to my mind that I'm grateful for in this moment, right? So I'm grateful for the ability to breathe. I'm grateful for having all of my limbs at this time. I'm grateful for life. I'm grateful for existence. I'm grateful for family. I'm grateful for friends. I'm grateful for the fact that my heart is beating. I'm grateful for the fact that my eyes blink. I'm grateful for a roof over my head, for transportation, for a job or a career, whatever it is. There are so many things to be grateful for, because everything that you have, there is someone that wishes they had it. So you complain about different things. We can complain about our weight. Well, some person who is heavy wants to be smaller, and there is someone who is smaller that wants to be heavy. So it's just the spectrum, right? So it's just the spectrum. All things, there's just one thing on a higher or a lower spectrum, right? Because when we talk about weight, it's just weight, right? You just either want it here or you want it here, but it's still just weight. If we're looking at health, we want good health versus bad health, but it's still just, it's health, right? Whether it's good or bad is all going to be dependent upon you and how you choose to see things, and how you see things will be based on your perspective. So getting to learn to love yourself is to get to know yourself. To know yourself, spend time in solitude, spend time with yourself, spend your deep breathing, spend your time controlling your thoughts, think intentionally, right? Spend time in nature. Just even if you don't want to go to a park or something, if there is grass outside, just go outside with your shoes off. Stand out in the grass. If you can go to a beach, go in the sand. Put your feet in the sand. Listen to the water and the waves, and smell the air, and embrace the nature around you. It will help you get deeper into your higher self, to better be able to open your eyes and learn how to love yourself, right? So now we talked about what self-love more is. Let's talk about some of the things that self-love kind of isn't, that we sometimes do and call it self-love, right? Self-love is not selfishness, right? So loving yourself and doing what's best for yourself does not mean that you can't also do things for other people. One dynamic that I hear a lot are relationships, right? And that could be, a relationship could be your coworker, your sibling, your parent, your partner. It could be whatever kind of relationship, friendships, and things of that sort. Sometimes we get into a place where we feel like a person is trying to force us or control us by doing the things that we don't want to do, but we're trying to stand up for ourselves and things of that sort, right? It's good to stand up for yourself, but it's also important to stop and think for a moment, why don't I want to do it, right? If you're sharing your life with someone, you say that you love this person, you want to make them happy, they make you happy, but then they ask you to do something you don't generally do, and before you think, you just outright say no, and you take it to say that they're trying to change you or force you into something different. What if you said yes, you tried whatever it was, and you actually liked it? Maybe you will unlock a new level of yourself, right? So remember to think about the difference between selfish and self-love. Doing something that you think is not for your highest good, doing something that's going to cause you harm, hurt, frustration, sadness, take you into a dark place. Okay, self-love, because I said, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to allow that into my life. But, being unwilling to try something new or to give something a chance different than what you've already known, that's your choice, right? And that's selfishness. Like, you might be holding yourself deeper into prison, not just telling the other person that you don't want to do something. One of the other things that comes with self-love that's not self-love is holding grudges. When you hold a grudge against someone, you are only locking yourself in, right? Take a step out of your body and look at it from another perspective and think about it like this. If you are spending your time intentionally choosing to think ill thoughts towards someone else, intentionally choosing to not forgive and hold this baggage on you at all times, it's no longer the person's fault that did whatever it is that you're choosing to not forgive or let go. It's now on you, because I heard this very interesting statement and I really, really liked it. And it was something like, your trauma is not your fault, but your healing is your responsibility. So if you find yourself holding a grudge with your parent or someone else or a friend or something like that, that is holding you prisoner, and you're going out of your way not to interact with the person, you're going out of your way that if you do interact with the person, you need them to know how much you just don't appreciate them, or how much they weren't this, or what they did to you, or things like that, you are holding yourself in prison, because you are holding animosity towards someone whose life you don't impact. Your animosity only impacts you. Your anger, your bitterness only impacts you. It will never impact the person who has no idea you're mad at them, or who you're mad at that is still living their life. So think about how much more you could love yourself if you gave yourself more space to do so. If all you do is fill your space with reasons to be upset, reasons to be hurt, reasons to be sad, grudges, reasons that you can't move forward, reasons that you can't do this, or reasons that you can't do that, when do you have opportunity and time for the things that you can do, right? So try to remember that it's up to you to let go of the things that are in the way of you moving forward in life. Forgive. For me, if I've ever hurt you, please forgive me. And if you've ever hurt me, please know that you are forgiven. I hold no animosity. I hold no grudges towards anyone. I hope that you can live free and find freedom in yourself. So think about loving yourself just a little bit more today, right? Think about letting go of something, right? Think about identifying those triggers, right? Think about the things that make you feel sad, make you feel hurt, make you feel anxious or nervous. Why? Go back. Why do they make you feel that way, right? Deal with those things as you start to clear out the path of the trauma that you've experienced in life, you realize that you have the capacity for so much more love in you than you've ever realized in your life. Your heart begins to blossom, and you begin to give love in a new way, and in return, you receive love in a new way. You realize that love doesn't always look like what you think love should look like. Love is a beautiful thing. It's meant to be free. It's not meant to be controlled. It's meant to be free. So free yourself by loving yourself a little bit more. I want to share a little bit of a story of something that happened to me. Many people know the type of person that I am, but I do get messages, spiritual messages and things of that sort. I do have visions and things like that as well. But this one particular day, I was working and I was typing up an email, and all of a sudden I started to hear this conversation going on, and I kind of paid attention to the conversation, and the conversation was very thought-provoking. In fact, it led me to some desires. I was in a process of trying to figure out what I desire in life, because yes, as you grow and you let go of the old person that you were, the person that the world said you were, you will be somewhat of a blank canvas, and there are going to be some things you don't know about yourself. So just enjoy the journey of learning it, right? So that's what I'm on. So I listen, and I get this beautiful unfolding that helps me define these desires. How do I see myself? How do I want to present myself? How do I want to live my life? So it was very eye-opening. But then all of a sudden I had almost like an out-of-body experience where I can now still see that conversation. This conversation, first conversation, broke me down to crying and praising and things like that. And so now it's almost like I can see myself, I can see the conversation, but I can see myself praising, and now I'm still standing back. And I hear another conversation over all of the loudness here. I hear another conversation happening, and it's a very quiet conversation. So I tapped into that conversation, and I'm going to have to, I typed it out and I'll read it. But for me, it was very profound. So I'm going to share it. What I heard was, truly loving yourself feels like the love of God falling on you. In essence, it is true. If you are in God and God is in you, does that not make you one and the same? Therefore, to love yourself is to give love to the God in you. To love God is to give love to yourself. If this is a consistent cycle, how could they not be relatively true? Loving you is loving God. Loving God is loving you. This is the root to true love. So hearing that and awakening more to that really just made it more important for me to understand self-love. And now that I know what it means to love myself. Know is my favorite word, right? I love that word. It is so beautiful. Know is my favorite word. Excuses don't exist. Just know. Don't matter why. Just know. Because I don't want to do it, right? I don't think that it's best for me. It does not serve my highest good. But I'm also learning that yes is just equally as exciting. Yes, I'll try this place I've never tried before. Yes, I'll take a random trip somewhere. Yes, I'll love in a different way. Yes, I'll open my heart to new things. Yes, I'll love my family more and in different ways. So find some self-love today. It's worth the experience. One of the most beautiful things that I gained from learning to love myself more is that my life is no longer about the outcome. My life is more about the journey, the things that I get to experience on a day-to-day basis, the things that I get to try that I would not have tried before, the ways that my eyes are opening, right? The desire for positive health, the desire for healthy relationships, the desire for just everything. Some people know, but not everyone knows. I've been away for a while because I now am a grandmother, and I have welcomed a beautiful little grandson. And the most beautiful thing about that is I learned to love myself right on time for him. If I love myself properly, right? I went through my life, my children have gone through their lives into adulthood. If I love myself properly and I teach my kids to love themselves properly, now my grandson has the ability to be comforted and surrounded by love and grace and people that are going to teach him to love himself properly. That gives him a chance at freedom from the very beginning. So, sorry I've been away for so long, but not really sorry, because it's been the most beautiful experience to embrace the love of a grandchild and the love of my family around me. So, thank you for joining me once again for thinking it through with Tia. I hope that you can find something useful in the things that I reviewed today. Of course, please like, share, subscribe. If you have any topic you'd like me to review, feel free to reach out and let me know. Wishing everyone a magical day.